Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining us. I have Laura Patterson, President of VisionEdge Marketing, on the show with me today. Laura, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to have an opportunity to speak with you.
Me too. All right, talk to our audience about what VisionEdge Marketing does, how it came about, and then I have a list of questions for you.
Okay, can't wait to delve into the questions, so I'll make this part brief. So VisionEdge Marketing, we're located in Austin. We began in 1999, and we started as, way back then, as a data-driven, metrics-based, process-oriented, strategic and product marketing company. So try to envision 1999, those were all new words in the vocabulary. Today, they're big-time buzzwords. We work globally with our customers, and our aspiration is to help our customers use data, analytics, process, and measurement to accelerate their growth, create customer value, and improve business performance.
All right, let's walk into that one. Aligning marketing and business to drive growth with technology. Give us some examples of how you're implementing this process.
Thanks for asking that. So we're really excited. We've been awarded a patent, actually, for our process, which is not that easy to come by, as you probably know, in marketing. And so we have a methodology that enables marketing to make sure that the work of marketing and the investments that marketing is making on behalf of the company are directly synced up to business outcomes that the company is trying to achieve. So instead of it being some kind of like global overarching thing like let's make more money or let's get more customers or let's be more profitable or some of those broad-based terms, we have a methodology for helping our customers get very, very specific about what those outcomes are. And then instead of having marketing having very broad terms like generate more leads, right? Increase engagement, we have a methodology for making sure that that's much more customer-centric, much more quantifiable, and that each one of those marketing objectives is directly tied to an outcome. And then everything cascades down from that. It seems pretty intuitive, and people probably think they're doing it, but we look at hundreds, maybe over the last 19 years, thousands of marketing plans, and very, very few of them actually can make those direct links and chains. Part of the reason is most of the time those are crafted in PowerPoint or even Excel. And as a result, it's really hard to visually create those chains. And so we enable them to do that.
I get it, which leads me to my next question. You've got to develop best practices, and I'm sure your practices are best in class with marketers. So walk us through some of the best practices that you have been able to evolve to that actually yield the results that everybody is really demanding of us.
Great question. And I'd like to actually attribute the best practices to the best marketers that I've had the opportunity and privilege to work with. So in 2001, Michael, we began a study, a marketing performance management benchmark study, and it's been going on every year since 2001. And from that research, we've actually been able to learn some of the best practices of best-in-class marketing organizations and actually share those with others. And so sadly, the number of marketing organizations who what we call earn an A from the C-suite, the CEO, the CFO, the COO, presidents of the company for their ability to demonstrate their value, impact, and contributions, like 1 in 4, 1 in 5 marketing organizations. It's not a very large group, but we have learned that group, regardless of what kind of industry, whether they're B2B or B2C, or whether what size their budget is, none of that really matters. We've learned that they do some things very consistently across those organizations. So I'll share a few of those with you. Obviously, I'm not going to go into every single one, but the first one is around alignment. And that alignment is because they have extraordinary business acumen. They think of themselves as business people first, marketers second, and they're very customer oriented. They see themselves as part of their key job is to be looking forward in terms of what the customer requirements are going to be, what the market requirements are going to be. So they're really good at the upstream part of marketing. If you probably are aware that most marketing organizations today tend to get mired down in the downstream, what we call lead gen, which is important. Obviously, that's a key part of what we need to be doing in marketing. But the best-in-class marketers do the upstream well and the downstream well. So they have really good business acumen. They're extraordinarily good at this alignment question. Second, they excel at selecting the right metrics, and they understand the difference between data, measures, metrics, and KPIs. And so they understand how to select the right metrics and create a chain of those metrics, as we were talking about earlier, from the top down instead of from the bottom up. And so that is a really important thing, and they actually can create the logic in their metrics. And connected to that is their ability to be and willingness to set performance targets. So they understand that in order to declare success, they have to have agreement about what success looks like. It's a lot easier, as you know, to declare success after the fact, right? But the challenge with that is that people can also arbitrarily declare failure, right? So if you set a performance target in the beginning that everyone agrees to and you achieve that, then you're achieving success. So that's two of the two. They make their dashboards much more actionable. We look at a lot of dashboards. I bet you do too. You've probably seen a lot in your career.
Yes.
And one of the things that's interesting is that many dashboards today, as you are created with the click of a button, you can click on your CRM or your marketing automation platform or go into Google and print out a very pretty report. And people think that's a dashboard, but for the most part, that's really not a dashboard. It's just beautifully visualized data, that's inside that system. And there's nothing wrong with that. But imagine that in your car, the only measure or item that you had on your dashboard was the fuel gauge. And you had nothing else. You had no speedometer. You didn't know anything about what's happening with the engine or the tires, nothing else, just the gas, the fuel gauge. And you had information about how many miles you have left to go and how soon you're going to need to get gas, and maybe even information about today where the closest gas stations are. But it's all related to the gas. That's what most marketers have today, is information related to the gas. But there's other things you need on the dashboard to drive your car, at least successfully, to mitigate risk and make good decisions about your driving. And so that's one of the biggest challenges most marketers have, is that the only metric they have on their dashboard is related to the pipeline, which is the gas. And best-in-class marketers have a much better and more actionable dashboard that lets them make strategic decisions for the business. So those are three best practices. Maybe that's a good starting point for most folks.
It would be, and you set those dashboards up for people so that they can actually see more than just the gas gauge, which I assume is the direct pipeline to how much money do we have left to spend on this, right?
Yes, we do help them set up their dashboards, and we highly recommend that the dashboard and the marketing plan be interrelated. I mean, that's the point, right? If you have the right marketing plan, and you should be reporting against that, and that plan should be more than just a list of things you're going to do to generate leads or qualified opportunities, whatever people might call them.
If I may, tell me about the best way to measure marketing contribution, the value, and the impact.
Okay, so those are really three good words, and we do talk about their differences. So clearly, if you take them apart, let's start with value. So that's worth, right? What is the relative worth you're getting of something? So a lot of folks get mired down in the notion of ROI, but ROI can be a rabbit hole. And the thing that happens with ROI is that as we get better at producing ROI, a funny thing happens in lying to the bank. People want to know how you can get that much ROI or more for less, right? But value is something that grows. And so if you think differently about how do you get relative worth, so more worth for the money that you're investing as opposed to thinking just ROI. And then if you're thinking about impact, obviously that's how you're directly affecting something. So how much more directly are you making a difference? And then contribution obviously would be whatever that's going to be. Contribution to the business could be in terms of net new customers, the rate of adoption of a new product, different kinds of things that might be important depending on where the business is in its development.
Well said. All right, let's get a takeaway message before we close out on today's interview. I know you'll be back and we can drill down on more of these tips for people to use, but please, at least one takeaway for today.
Well, I guess if I were going to make one recommendation to folks, it would be, don't get scared. Take the first step, and everyone in marketing knows that they have got to be data-driven and customer-centric, but really, how do you use that to help the business make better decisions is the real question.
Well put. Laura, thanks for being a guest on today's show.
It is my pleasure. Thank you for having me, Michael. All the best.
Mine too. All right, you've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be back with more great content just for you.